are go for liftoff in T-minus 30.
Hit the record button.
Gosh, that's swell.
It's a Lowe's Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody. This is Italo from Italo's Blog Talk Radio. I hope everybody's doing well this morning, or whenever you're listening to this, because this is being in a top capsule being recorded earlier. But I'm actually very excited because I have another show. I'm doing now one daily. And this one's really interesting. It reminds me of Twilight Zone or Black Mirror in the sense that it's a satire on what's going on nowadays. It's called Life Plan, or Living Your Best Life in a Collapsing World. So I'll be talking to the director and the writer in a few seconds when they call. But before we start, I do want to remind people that we're doing a show daily, and I don't want to set myself for failure, but I'll be doing this hopefully throughout the festival if I have the energy. And so please like the Facebook page, because this is the only way you're going to get daily updates, what's coming up next, who's going to be on the show next. So do that. But since I already have the guest, I'm going to stop talking because someone's on the line. Let me see who's on number one. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey.
Both Matthew, the writer of Life Plan, and Paul Hogan, the director.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How you doing, guys?
Good. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Thank you. So yeah, I was telling the audience that whoever's listening, the show is going to be Life Plan, or Living Your Best Life in a Collapsing World, which is what's happening now. It's already started. Yay! How exciting is that?
I know, it's so hard to write tech satire nowadays because the world is crazier than anything you can imagine.
Yeah, exactly. We're like 100 years past that point. But anyways, let's talk about your show, because like I was saying, it reminds me of either Twilight Zone, but now they actually have a new show. You've probably seen Black Mirror, where it's more technology and it's more, like the movie Downsizing was another example, where you're given a choice of what kind of life you want to lead before the world ends. So I think that's what it was about. But why don't you tell us more about it, since you wrote it?
Sure. And Black Mirror, Twilight Zone, those were all definite influences on this as my co-writer and I were working on it, and as we've been developing it. But what we say a life plan is, it's like immersive, satirical sci-fi, where the audience is live at a timeshare sales pitch from our dystopian future. So it's set in 2068. The world has gone to crap. It's totally falling apart. But it's, as you say, it's sort of just a continuation of the world we're in now. And so the audience is being presented with this offer, essentially, and that's what makes it a little more immersive. The audience is being presented with the offer to live their dream life and to escape the kind of hellscape that they live in. And they have this offer to live their dream life, but of course, things are not exactly as they seem. And over the course of the show, which is about 75 minutes, they must kind of reckon with what is really being offered to them. So it raises a lot of questions about what it means to live, in a world that, I think you could argue about whether it's collapsing or not, but it's definitely scary, and we're living in a scary world. And especially as Americans and as capitalist societies are they're organized around this idea of people achieving their best life, of becoming their best self, becoming the most successful version of themselves. But what does that mean in a world of climate change, of economic, kind of the disparity of economic between rich and poor is increasing. We have all these clashing fundamentalisms throughout the world. What does it mean? What is the value of this kind of idea of becoming your best self and best life mean? That's kind of what the questions that were behind it as we were writing it. And as you say, it's a very kind of Black Mirror-y kind of proposition.
Right. So how was it directing this show?
It's, I come from a lot of, video and media production. I used to do theater, so it'd been a while, which was really nice hopping back into this. It's from a directing standpoint, the trick was finding the tone. There's parts of it that can be very funny. There's parts that can be very dark comedy, and there's parts that are very emotional and deal with very heavy issues. So it was finding that nice balance of tone, and we also didn't have the luxury of scenes. It's not like another play where you can segment the way an audience is feeling with one scene to the next. You can have a funny scene where silly stuff is going on, and then you go to another room and something serious is going on. People are here. Once this starts, it's all one thing. I mean, it begins with our master of ceremonies, also played by Matthew, kicking us off and sort of giving us the sales pitch from the get-go. And then as he brings on members of Life Plan who are in the plan, the play takes on a little bit different form and some conflict emerges. And so it was really, the tough thing was how do we keep the audience engaged, entertained, but also have them coming away with the right message without feeling beaten over the head with it, but also like they need to feel some emotions, but also they can't take it too seriously throughout the whole thing. But it does really deal with very heavy issues of who we are, of identity, who we want to be, of mortality, of our place in the world around us. How selfish should we be? So bringing those out without the luxury of saying, you know what, just we'll table this for this scene, and then in this scene you'll be angrier because we'll deal with that then. It really flows like water through the whole thing.
Right, and unlike, I'll just tag onto that real quickly, unlike a more kind of traditional play where you as the audience are watching characters deal with their own issues and go and you're sort of separate from them, you're just watching a story about characters. In this case, you are in the world. You are the one being sold this product. And so we're really trying to sort of shift we're trying to shift the relationship between where the main relationship is actually between the characters and the audience. The characters have a relationship with each other, and those play into it, but it's not the dominant relationship. It's about the audience. It's not about the characters as much as it is about the audience and what they would do in this situation.
Yeah. So I think, it was a lot of fun as well. I will say, just for doing a lot of production like with film, it was nice not to have to worry about multiple camera angles. So that was during our tech rehearsal, our first one, it was nice to just say, I'm just looking this way. So that was
right.
But
I have to say, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, it's really nice to have something that will have an immediate impact on the audience. I hope philosophically it has an impact on them, but I mean, it's really nice to have something that I know that those actors will be there and will be interacting with the people in the audience. The audience will feel there's that energy that you get in theater is so cool and so I hate to use the word rewarding because that's something that we're kind of, obviously with tech now, everybody's trying to go for the likes, and that's obviously a little something that we're playing off of here too. But so that's not quite it. But there's something really about that immediate feedback that an actor on stage can get and shift and know what's going on and feel off of it. That's just so powerful.
Yeah, right. Yeah, actually, and actually, I'm actually in the same theater as you guys are, Studio Stage, and the lighting is amazing. I was there we already had our tech rehearsal too, and once you have everything going, the lighting and the projector in the back, and you have the dim lights, it's amazing. It's an amazing theater. I had to give a shout out to Greg, who's doing a great job there with the design of the lighting, because once you get into that theater, it's like, what? Where am I? And actually, they're going to have new seats. I don't know if you guys heard. The back rows are going to be completely redone. Hopefully by the we have like 2 weeks to go. It'll be done before that. Like he'll say, he's like, we got like one more week, guys. Come on, we gotta do it before previews. But
that'll be really
amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited about that space.
Yeah, and I think I mean, you mentioned the lighting and the projection. I mean, that's the other challenge that we had is part of this is because it's supposed to be part sales pitch, part TED Talk, part Tony Robbins seminar. We've been working on building a whole slideshow, for lack of a better term, that's going on behind it to support everything that you're seeing on stage. And so it's been nice to have the people at that stage. We worked with Greg and Brett. Brett is our, so just helping us get that, getting that going has been really nice. And we're really looking forward to seeing this thing all play and come together and sort of weave in and out of the light. Yeah, I'm very excited to see this, as it moves towards that end stage.
Right. And actually, this synopsis of your show, or how you explain it, it reminds me of how we live in LA in a way, because as I'm doing driving in LA now, I'm actually noticing things that I've never noticed before, and driving to places that I never thought I would be driving by, and taking people. Sometimes actually had a customer that was coming from it's a different country. It's like from what's the name? Anyways, he comes from it's like Venezuela almost. Anyways, he was visiting from out of town, and he was going through Venice, going on to downtown, and I took him through the streets, and he started noticing different things that we don't notice, like the homeless, the community of the homeless, and the tents, and the skyscraper buildings, and then you see another street that's like, whoa, what's going on here? So he notices all these things, and that I don't notice anymore, because I'm living in it, and he's like, whoa, what's going on over here? Is that a community of homeless people? I'm like, yeah. And they're recent residents of this dystopian world that we live in. It's called LA, and this is downtown. And some people don't really want to look at that. And there's another customer too. I dropped him on St. Julian Street, which is like the hot area there, right next to Skid Row. But they were having this posh party, and I don't know what they were doing, but I'm like, do you guys realize what's going on across the street from you guys? Like a block away, you have all these people, shooting drugs and God knows what. But you're over here, with the valet parking and everything. It's like, that tells me how disconnected we are from everything.
I think how
that's going around.
disconnected and how easy it is to avoid it. Because even when you have a posh party like that, half those people probably are 2 months of rent away from being right where the people they're passing are. You know, so and I think a little bit that's what this play speaks to is the opportunity to just ignore everything that's going on in the world, move past it with this dream of a real, fake life, whatever it is, and, you know, at some expense. But, you know, I think it's very easy for people to ignore the world going on around them. And what does that mean? Like, you know, what does that mean for us? And is it, how unethical is it if you are in a scenario where you can't escape this? You know, I think a lot of people on Skid Row, given a chance to escape that, even at some bizarre cost that they may have to spend, I think a lot would take it, you know. And so it really, I don't think the answers are quite as cut and dry, but at the same time, the ignorance and the blind eye that we turn towards all these issues. And I think it's interesting you say, you know, we really are sliding into a soft dystopia, and I see that. I see that when I take my family to see a movie at the ArcLight, and we drive up Cahuenga, and we see, these rows of tents, and we see it. But what can I do? You know, my daughter wants to help, but even that is tricky. You know, she can't just hop out and start handing out sandwiches.
Yeah.
Even that can't. You know, so it's very. And I think from global warming, I mean, and the play really touches on a lot of these things. But it's. I hope people can take away that we're. It's funny, Matthew, as he was writing it. It takes place in 2068, but it's like how. Is that too soon or is that too far out?
It's like, kind of far out because it's already happened. It's already happening. Like,
yeah.
In 10 years, you know how we have evolved from 10 years ago to now. We have the smartphones and we have the, social media and how we're all broadcasting everything. Who knows what's going to happen in 10 more years?
Exactly.
I know. And it happens, but it's so funny how, I mean, humans are both very smart and very dumb. And it's like, we aren't able to see the big picture or the long view very well. And I think that's probably evolutionary, right? You just sort of focus on your own survival, your own family, your own happiness, your own, success in the world. But while we do that, and like you say, like in 10 years, we sort of like the world is going to fall apart. It's not going to fall apart. I mean, it might fall apart in one fell, nuclear disaster or whatever, but it's probably just going to fall apart in fits and starts, little bits, and then you wake up one day and you're living in a nightmare. Yeah. And that can be, and that is true. That is true, both kind of as a species. But it is also true, I think, as you both were pointing out, that's true in an individual's life. Like, it's like things seem to be going well, and then, a couple things happen. You wake up in 10 years, and you've lost your house, and the bank foreclosed on you, and you got outsourced out of a job, and Amazon has automated all of the work. So it's like, is there like each little step kind of happens, and each one you kind of acclimate to, and you kind of get used to it. And then, but if you were to look at, like you're saying, if you were to compare today to 10 years from now, you probably would be stunned and be like, how did we let this happen? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Depressing.
Great. Now,
it's very scary, isn't it? This is not going to be a sci-fi movie, guys. This is going to be real life for you. So, get ready for what's going to happen to you. But anyways, going back to Hollywood Fringe. So basically, want to remind people this is going to be a great show. I can already tell it's going to be a great show because my future self is going to be like, yes, I knew it. Life plan. It's a bomb. It will be at the studio stage. So it starts on June 8th. But they have actually several shows they want you to see. So June 8th, June 15th, 19th, 23rd, 28th. If you cannot make it on one, you have no excuse. You can make it on the other. But tickets are available right now. So if you want to go to their Facebook page, not Facebook, that's me, HollywoodFringe.org, or you can actually go to their website too, which is Last to Leave Theater.
Yeah.
No, Last to Leave Theater.
Yeah. That's right.
And then
there and all of the, and I want to just make a quick for the people listening out there, if they so tickets are $15. Well, for the first show for June 8th, tickets are $1. That's our quote unquote preview show. But it'll be, it's not, we'll have it fully baked by then. Afterwards, tickets are $15. But if they use the offer code LIFER number 1, and that's the pound sign, so LIFER $, and the numeral 1. LIFER. Hashtag.
Nobody under 35 calls it the pound sign.
That's fair. LIFER hashtag the number 1. Then they'll get $5 off tickets, and tickets will be $10.
Okay, great. I never knew that's called the hashtag. Anyway, I come from the AOL era, so if you can tell,
there you go. Yeah,
I'm actually pretty old school. I still call it hashtag pound sign.
Yeah. I long for the days of AIM.
Yeah. Oh my God. Don't get me started on the chat room.
Back when the internet was just kind of fun and not a trash fire like it is now.
Yeah. It's what happens when you get to do whatever you want all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Those were the days, right? Yeah. So, this is going to be, again, life plan, or living your best life in a collapsing world. So, yes, this is going to sound, this is a very, so if I imagine this correctly, this is going to be sort of an immersive show, which means that your first show may be different than the next one and the last one. So you expect that to happen, like where the audience participation makes it, flow a different way, or you pretty much have a solid script that you cannot,
right.
derive from.
It's more a solid script. I'm calling it semi-immersive, because the term immersive obviously can mean lots of different things, like from you're in a building and you have to put on, like in Sleep No More, where you got to put on a mask and you wander around and it's open world. Ours is on rails, but the audience is in that world, and there is some participation, but it doesn't affect the outcome. There's things like when they enter the space. When they enter the space, for instance, before the show starts, everybody has to walk through a footwear disinfector box that we're building. Everybody's going to get a brochure everyone's going to get a brochure for Life Plan, for the program, for the platform, and that is going to serve as our program. And in that, they have to fill out a card to share what their dream life would be that we'll use later in the show. So it's they're involved in it, but they're not involved in the story creation like some immersive shows. So it's a good fit for people who it's a good fit for anybody, but for people who like the idea of kind of immersive but don't totally want the attention put directly on them, like in some immersive shows, it's not as intense as that. Yeah,
and I can say that as me because I'm terrified of human interaction. I'm not crazy about
sound like a very
clowns.
You sound like every millennial.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I'm at like a magic show or something, and the magician's doing that thing where it's like, can I get? And I know the second their eyes go across me, I clench up which is weird because I'm not a shy guy, but it's whatever in that scenario, it's just freaking terrifying. But so this show is not one where we're going to explicitly call people out, if, so and they're not going to get drug up onto the stage. I think it's mainly immersive in the fact that if there is a fourth wall, it's at the door of the theater. So it is as soon as you enter that building, you're in this world, and we don't want you. So it's immersive in that we want you fully feeling like you're in 2068 from the second you leave Western Avenue and come in there. And so that's how we want you immersed. And there's a little interaction and but nothing nothing terrifying for those of us introverts out there.
That's right. You're not singled out. There's no physical contact like in some immersive shows. And I love all this. I'm on the opposite end.
Yeah, he's crazy.
I love going, I've been to shows where it's like one, it's one performer, one audience member. I love all that kind of stuff. But I know that for some people, that can be a little. I'm not comfortable. You just want to be an audience member. So this, you're an audience member, but you're in the world itself.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I just want to see it.
Yeah, don't touch me.
No. A friend of mine, when I was in college, was in hair in D.C. and he was in hair, and this was like late '90s, and he was like, "Come see it." And then I got to the theater, and it was. There was no stage, and I, about hair, and everybody's getting naked, and I was like, uh-oh, and there was beanbags just set and chairs set up, and I was like, oh, somebody's gonna touch me.
Right. Make me do a hippie dance.
Yeah. I did. I think they got it. So I would never put someone through that.
We're gonna put you in a blindfold, wear the handcuffs, and then we're gonna put you in a wig. Yeah. Don't do that. Don't do that show. So funny, but it's kind of. There might be a show like that. I don't know. I mean, I already talked to a few people. Around 40 shows already I have in the Blog Talk, and one of them, I kind of had to get naked to do the show.
We heard.
So yeah.
Oh yeah. for just robes, because they're in studio stage as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're pushing the boundaries at studio stage there. And even this show, this show is very cerebral, where it actually makes you wonder, like, wow, this is already happening, or this will be happening soon, or, they put you in the mindset where it's like, well, I'm signing a contract, or what is this?
Yeah, and I think what's really interesting, and again, I don't want to, a day after Game of Thrones, I don't want to get into spoilers here, but like, we were early on as we were reading through the script, just doing one read through to sort of with the cast and really begin in the process. We got to the end of it, and I think one thing that I really like about it is we're not answering the questions for you. When we get to the end, there are a lot of themes that are brought up and discussed, and I said, I don't know exactly how I feel. I don't know what I would do. I don't, so it is not, which I think is, and I think it's a rare thing in drama, in media today to leave the audience with something to discuss, something to think about, and something, and not in a, but not in a bewildering, come on guys, kind of way. It's not, we don't like leave it hanging, but themes that are brought up are equally weighed on multiple sides of what is right, what is wrong, and I think that's a rare thing, and that's a real credit to the writing that Matthew and Brian did to think about many sides of a very complex sociological and philosophical issue. And also saying that it sounds like it's really boring. It's not. It's
almost like another big inspiration for this show was the movie, the Mike Judge movie, Idiocracy. I don't know if you've seen that, Victor, or if anyone in the audience has seen it. It's great. It's really, really funny. And it's set in the future, but it's like, just because we're raising kind of philosophical issues again, like I said earlier, humans are both very smart and very dumb, and so there's just a lot of humor to be found in kind of how weird humans are and how odd we are in how where our society is going. But my hope, and because my hope is that the audience leaves the theater and goes directly to the bar or to the coffee shop, hopefully the bar, because they're going to need a drink, to discuss it, and because that's always my favorite art. You know, when I leave something and I just want to keep talking about it, and I want to break it down with my friends. You know, that's the art that really stays with me, and that's my hope for the audience here.
Where do you want the people to? Because I'm sure there will be people that want to talk about it, or they have reactions of your show, and those who love it, of course, they have to do a review, and that's great. But is there any other way on social media they can follow you on certain hashtags or handles or anything like that?
Sure. Well, hashtag life plan.
Pound life plan.
Pound sign life plan. Shift the number 8. No. What is it? Number 3. Hashtag life plan, and then we have we kind of have a little, we kind of started a little theater company, sort of, that it's not, this is our first little show. It's called Last to Leave Theater, and so if you look up Last to Leave on either Twitter or Instagram, you'll find us. It's Last to Leave Theater on Instagram, LTL Theater on Twitter. It's also on Facebook. There's that too. I'm not personally on Facebook, so I don't know what's happening with that page.
It's there.
It exists. Yeah.
That's all 2009, right?
Yeah, that's right. But if people come to the show
on Instagram too, if they want to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're all individually on Instagram. Yeah, my hope is that and one of the great things about Fringe and being a part of Fringe, like Paul was saying earlier, is that it is such a great community. So my hope is that we all go hang out afterwards. After we see it, there's a great bar down the street called Blipsies, which is a barcade, but it's not a hipster barcade. It is a dive. It is awesome, and I made sure to check it out beforehand because I wanted to be able to recommend it.
And I will say, I don't know if you had any backstory before we got on, but Matthew knows his bars, and so he's very well versed in bars, and
I'm an aficionado
and author when it comes to that stuff. So yeah. So
actually, right before I got on the show.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
Exactly. Yeah, everyone who sees the show is invited to Blipsies afterwards for hanging out and discussing, and because that's one of the things about great thing about Fringe, but also a great thing about theater, and why I have a background in theater, but I left it for many years, and I'm recently back in it, and as we've gotten more and more social media and YouTube and more outlets online to interact, that's great, and I am a big supporter of social media in its kind of community building ways, but there's just nothing better than being in a real space with people and getting that charge, and so I really do hope that that people who are into this will stick around, and and again, we're going to end every show is going to end with a short curtain speech where we'll ask them to review the show on HollywoodFringe.org, because that really helps people learn about the shows. But also, everyone's invited to Blipsies.
Yeah, that's actually sounds great. Actually, I might check it out because I haven't seen it. I've been to every other bar, but not that one. Actually, I'm like, ooh, is that nearby Studio Stage, or is it where is it at?
Yeah, it's the closest bar to Studio Stage.
All right.
I did a search. Yeah.
Oh,
there's one up on Melrose too called the Edmonton that's in a hotel.
That sounds fancy.
Yeah, but that's like fancy.
It does.
It's gonna be, that's more like beforehand. If you want to go for dinner before the show, there's a place on Melrose called Osteria La Buca, which is incredible. So that's a good, like, before the show, have a dinner, but then afterwards, come out to the dive bar.
Because you're gonna want to be in world. You want to go to a dystopia bar. You don't want to.
That's right.
Exactly.
Filled with old video games. They have Paperboy with the bike handle.
Ooh.
Wow. Like handles. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we actually have to wrap it up, guys, because I do have a song that fits this show perfectly by Talking Heads.
Beautiful.
But I won't reveal any more until the end of the show. So once again, I do want to remind people to like the Facebook page because I also don't get paid, but I get paid by likes. So if you will like my Facebook page, I will greatly appreciate it. And also come see every show you can because there's 400 of them. And every one is different. Every one is original. There's no sequels. There's no remakes. There might be one or two, but they're always unique, and they all have a different message for you. And so this is one that's gonna leave an impression, I'm sure, on whoever sees it. And so, yes. Any last words? Any last words? Words. I just said words like more times before we go.
Yeah. All I'll say is come to Life Plan at Studio Stage and have the opportunity to live your dream life in your real life.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you, Matthew and Paul, for calling today. And this is gonna be a wrap up. And I'll see your show. Hopefully, I'm not gonna make any more promises because I'm already promising to 40 other people that I'm gonna see their show. And then I have to also lift, and I also have to do my show. So
we hope to see you.
That's right. And and I want to see your the Little Prince Studio Stage. I'm gonna try to see all the Studio Stage shows.
Yeah, at least start there, right? Start at the home theater and then go from there.
Exactly.
All right, guys. And once again, thanks for calling.
All right,
I'm gonna leave it with Talking Heads, and Once in a Lifetime is the song, and that I think pretty perfect.
All right. Well, thanks, Victor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We are go for liftoff in T-minus 30.
Hit the record button.
Gosh, that's swell.
Well, I didn't see that coming.